Welcome back. So normally, prospect videos stop when the draft is done. You know what? I'm going to keep the prospect videos going, including this board I've had ready for 3 days. 3 days ago, I made this board, and I'm like, I got to find time for the video. I know, I'll find time. I didn't. So Adam Gajan, drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks, 35th overall today. And good thing I got this board ready. He was the first goaltender off the board. So why? Well, he was spectacular in international play, and that turns a lot of heads. So he's 6'3", 191 centimeters, 176 pounds, 80 kilos. So looking at the rankings, this is part of the reason why I made this board up. He was number 100 on the Elite Prospects list, number 35 on Hockey Prospect, number 63 on McKean's list, and number 34 on the Hockey News. So really, opinions vary wildly on him as a goaltender. So 2021-2022, playing for Skalika, the under-20 team, 36 games, 3.60 goals against, average 906 save percentage. Playing at the under-18s, not a good time for him. For Slovakia, 2 games, goals against average of 10.12 and an 829 save percentage. But this year he came over to North America and he showed what he could do. So he was kind of buried in 2021-2022. Not very many scouts got to see him. There wasn't a lot of buzz, but he came over and he played for Green Bay in the USHL this year. 6 games, 2.48 goals against, 906 save percentage. But with the Chippewa Steel in the NAHL, which is a step down from the USHL, but still, 34 games, 2.57 goals against, 917 save percentage. And at the World Juniors, he excelled. 4 games played, 2.4 goals against, average 936 save percentage. So between his play in the USHL and his play at the World Juniors, and the fact that physically he should be a pretty darn good goaltender in the NHL, clearly he turned the heads of the Hawks scouts. So, and again, he was draft eligible last year. So this is one of the interesting things too with Gajan, is that he's a year further along, kind of, sort of, and that he's a year older, right? So maybe he's a step closer to being NHL ready than other goaltenders might be. His World Junior performance raised his stock. Going into that World Juniors, maybe a 4th rounder, maybe a 5th. But once that World Juniors is done, he was seen as, being pretty good. Excellent athlete, great lateral movement. So athletically, very sound. Lateral movement is excellent. Good positioning, not fantastic, not perfect, but good positioning. And when he's dialed in, when he's on, he is very, very good. So he does have consistency issues here and there, but what goaltender doesn't? Really. Look around the NHL and tell me which goaltender's consistent throughout the season, every season, and why is it Vasilevsky or Shesterkin? So he does need some work on the blocker side. There are goals that get in on that side of him that, he might want to take care of. But again, as a young goaltender, you're going to have certain weaknesses in certain areas, but the upside for Gajan looks really good. That's why I made this board up. Very strong work ethic, and he's seen as a battler. So he doesn't give up on the play, which is part of the way that he plays. So he's kind of scrambly at times in the crease. That combined with him being a battler, and one thing that came up in the notes from scouts, Tim Thomas, Dominik Hasek. That kind of style of goaltending at times. So sort of reminiscent. Not that he will confuse anybody with Dominik Hasek or with Tim Thomas necessarily. Because again, I don't like to put, sort of a tag on this like, oh, he's the next Hasek. But his style of play, that's scrambly, and he is one of those goaltenders that you're asking yourself, how did he make that save? And that to me is where the difference is between a good goaltender and a great goaltender. I've talked about that before. The good goaltender will save the pucks that you think he should, and everything he sees he can save. The great goaltender, you're left shaking your head and asking yourself, how did he keep that puck out of the net? I have to see the replay. I have no idea how he saved that, right? Aiden Hill in this year's playoffs had numerous plays like that and ends up getting a pretty handsome contract from the Vegas Golden Knights as a result. So, Gajan, the first goaltender taken this year in the draft. By my count, again, there were 26 goaltenders taken in this draft. Not a weak draft when it comes to goaltenders, but opinions varied wildly on which goaltenders should go where. It is nice to see him go in and as a second-year eligible goaltender get drafted. So we'll see how he does. Hawks fans, are you excited to see what he can do? The Hawks do have other goaltenders up and coming as well. It feels like they're stockpiling some good young goaltenders. And, I mean, in the first round, they took a couple of forwards. You can afford to roll the dice on a goaltender. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.